Hi, everybody. It's Stacey Soble back with our last Salon Today Conversations of the week, and I'm with Kris Carpenter from Sanctuary Spa and Salon in Billings, Montana. Hi, Kris. How are you?
Hi, Stacey. Good to be here.
We were chatting a little bit ago, and we actually failed to record the Zoom call. So this is our second run at this. So now I know a lot about what you're doing. But I reached out to you initially because you had posted on Facebook something that you're frustrated about, client communication that came in after you did a GoFundMe account for your team. So tell us a little bit about that, how that made you feel, and how that kind of spurred you into action.
Yeah, we had a guest that sent me an email complaining about the fact that we had asked our guests who had asked us how they could help our team to support this GoFundMe campaign. We were just looking to help with the interim costs that a lot of our staff was experiencing from just having gone on unemployment and not being employed. And, you know, there was some of them were just having a really hard time. So we decided, let's go ahead and do this. And we did, and we had a lot of guests respond very favorably, but this one letter said basically that kind of shame on me for asking our guests to step into the role of taking care of my staff, because if I really did care about them, I would take care of them myself, which as salon owners, we know, gosh, that's a big haul when, you know, we know what our payroll is and what our expenses are and how we are. It tipped me over. I just totally kind of lost it over it. It was after a week and a half of filling out all that paperwork and stressing about whether you'd get it and were you doing it right and all of that. I just come off of a 14-day self-quarantine from traveling. So I literally lost it. I cried for a day. And the gift of it was the people out in my world, in this industry, friends, family, everyone, the outpouring of support I had blew me away. It was really, really remarkable, and it kind of woke me up. It got me up off my knees and got me back on my feet and back into action, figuring out what I could do. So it was really hard. It's hard to be criticized when you feel like you're doing everything you can and people who don't understand make a comment. But
Right.
Once again, it's like, don't listen to the trolls. You just can't. They don't get it. You know, they're not fighting the fight with you. And we really need to help each other. And that's what came out of it, is there's a ton of help.
Well, and I think that support is motivating as well. And you actually were talking about some of the things you're doing. You're taking the downtime to do a little bit of a remodel in the salon, and you're rethinking what reopening is going to look like and what practices you might implement. And you're involved locally with legislative and an economic recovery team to talk about how this is going to look for small business and help guide that conversation. So tell us a little bit, start with the remodel and what you're doing and some of your plans for reopening and what that might look like.
Yeah, well, you know, it was the kind of thing where we realized we're never going to have this time again. And it looks like we're still going to be closed for a period of time. So it's that little bit of a gamble. I was lucky to get financing a line of credit on, you know, my personal stuff. It's what we do. It's that, oh my God, am I really taking this risk? But now's the only time we can do this. And so we're doing a really, really tight to the budget. I said, you know, this is not a Pinterest project. This is like, let's get renovation. We're redoing the flooring in the entire front of our whole business, a couple thousand square feet of flooring. And we were going to be adding a couple of rooms to do some upfront waxing, lash and extensions, things like that. So we're doing that build out while we're changing some things, and yet kind of incorporating the changes that we think are going to be necessary for the distancing that's going to be important now and in the future of our, you know, world of how we do things. So we are looking at how we can, putting in new shampoo sinks. We're going to go from 4 to 3. So there's a little more space between the guests. We're figuring out how we're going to shift. We may be extending hours, working on now the plans of what it'll take to do the proper sanitation between guests. Even looking to see if we can put a salon sink, a kind of an open sink in the salon for guests to use to wash their hands, for staff to very visibly. We just really want to come ahead with a thing that ensures, you know, this is safe. You know, it's like we're calling it the new norm, but it really can be the future. This is how it's done to protect everyone and to really give the impression to the guests from the get-go, you know, oh wow, they're updated, they're fresh, they're in business, this place is on it. So we're doing a remodel in the spa in the back, a room that we couldn't ever figure out how we would close long enough to demo a tile room. So that's going to happen too. So it's kind of crazy, but it's exciting.
So talk a little bit about this idea that you got for retail from a business in New York called Glossier. Was it Glossier?
Yeah.
And then how you're going to maybe reconfigure retail the way you're going to do it.
We're also looking at that as a way to, I wanted to do it, but couldn't figure out how to do it for a long time. So with remodel, we're creating in our booking room an area to put all of the product. And the concept is basically that the testers are out, so you can manage your sanitation of testers and all those supplies, and the products are there. So you still have a lot of interaction with the guest. But what I loved about it is you can set up an iPad for the retail, or, you know, someone can help them to pick what they want. But it's put together and packaged in the booking room behind the scenes. So it gives you this idea of where you can also have things. Here's all your products coming very sanitized. They haven't been touched by everyone. They're clean, they're wrapped up. And you can also do some other promotions that way really easy with the guests so that they get this fun package when they leave. Just kind of a different way to do it that I've wanted to for a long time, but now's the opportunity to make the shift, and it'll all, you know, make more sense in the world we're living in. Plus, you aren't gonna have to dust those shelves the way we used to have to. So that'll be a big plus.
Well, it's kind of more of a personalized shopping experience too. If someone's like helping you curate the package that you're taking home, and it's a higher end customized experience, I think.
Yeah, I think it could be super fun, and also to, you know, reconfigure what was a waiting room, you know, to not really have a waiting room anymore. You don't want anything else you have to sanitize where somebody's going to go sit. So it's to eliminate all those spaces while still figuring out how to create, you know, a wonderful experience for the guest. You know, it's just going to be a lot of communicating and teaching them how it works, and, you know, training with the team to adapt to the new way we're doing business.
So one of the other things you talked about is the potential reality of people having to wear masks and gloves when you reopen, and possibly looking into monogramming some of those masks, and then talk about the name tag and how you're keeping the personal touch with that.
Yeah, we will institute initially for, you know, all of our close contact, hair, nails, skin, massage, all of that, the staff wearing a face mask. So we're having some designed right now to test them out to see how they work, and looking at having them, you know, customized monogrammed with our logo so that it becomes part of our uniform that we wear anyway. But also, you know, just one thing that I really thought about was we wear name tags, but with the mask, you know, not seeing what that person's face really looks like is a little disarming. When you look at the pictures of everybody in a mask, it's kind of like, stranger danger, who are you? So to put that face on, so it's like keeps creating that connection that we need so much of, you know, what our mind sees and how our mind works, to have it be where, you know, you see that person, you know, looking like themselves. So you just feel a little more connected. And so, you know, we're going to look at what it's going to take to get, you know, a little bit larger name tag, but to have that face of the technician on it. So you keep that connection.
I love that idea. Now we talked a little bit about it, but you talk about, you've been on this economic recovery team locally that's kind of giving advice to the governor and talking about how small businesses are going to reopen, and what are some of the conversations that you're having with that?
Yeah, they're really interesting because they're a cross section of the community and different aspects of how they serve the community. But it's really looking at how can we have a voice in how we get up and running. And so my focal point, I have 2 small retail gift stores too, along with the spa and salon, is let us be part of the solution. Let us not only get directives from, the health department, who's going to direct what we do. And I was explaining to him, I said, in the salon industry, we're used to sanitation procedures because it's been part of our industry. But, let us role play through what you're going to direct before this starts to happen. So we can give you feedback on really how it works and challenges and things we're going to run into. So we don't have more misinformation and we don't know what's going on. They're also building a centralized website, should be up and running Monday, that will connect the city council, the county, the chamber, the Big Sky Economic Development, everyone to the same site. So the business information is the same that we're getting. They'll have SBA links, but to have everything coming in so the misinformation isn't keeping going, because we find sometimes the news media will get things, but sometimes they don't get that whole thing. So just to have a place where we say, this is the most current, best information you can get for business people, so we can all direct there. But I really want to help just the salon people, especially in our area, to be as successful as they can to reopen and to look at what we're going to have to do to protect ourselves and our clientele as we navigate this next year. It's going to be a long haul, but I think if we do a mindset change to this and really ramp it up to where we are leaders in coming back into business, it will just be amazing, because we know our clients want us and they want to come back and they're ready. They're so ready.
So ready. I'm so ready. I have a lot of touch up on, but I'm really ready. So you also, you didn't do your holiday gifts that you do with your VIP clients this year. And so now you're taking this opportunity to do something special for them. Tell us about those gift baskets.
Yeah, we always, for our top guests, we deliver gifts to their home, and the holiday, it just didn't happen. I was like, I'm just not feeling it. So we thought, well, we'll do something New Year, and that didn't happen. So I was like, oh my gosh, if we don't do it now, we are sitting here now with waiting, and they're home waiting. Let's just do it. So I wrote notes to all of them the last couple of days, telling them about how we're looking forward to seeing them soon. And here's a little self-care package for you to, enjoy while you're at home. And just have a couple of team members that are going to deliver them. And I know it's going to be really, really impactful to just reach out at a time like this and say, hey, we know you're there. And
we're thinking about you.
We're thinking about you. And so just to really, reestablish that connection that we do care. Sometimes we get so caught up in, trying to do the paperwork and all the stuff behind the scenes we're doing, to really reach out and make that effort. It will make a difference.
I love that idea. Well, Kris, thank you so much. And you're sharing some really novel, creative things. I love how people are getting creative. And thank you for sharing them with our audience.
Well, thank you, Stacey. And I really want to thank you for doing this for our community. It's so nice of you to do this to help us stay educated. And it's this industry. It's the people that have helped me, and we're brainstorming ideas. What you're doing is just magnifying it. So I really hope you know how important it is and how much, we appreciate it in little places like Montana. We're all isolated.
I so appreciate that. I'm more comfortable writing a story, but it seems like everything's happening so fast. I don't have time to do that anymore. So that's why I started doing these conversations. And I think they've just been really enlightening, because, people have different issues, but we're all in the same boat with this. So
we sure are. Well, thanks so much, and stay safe.
Thank you.